Hi everyone. Today we're going to work on some things that not only am I not great at, I really need to improve much. So I'm going to try to explain some of the techniques that I'm doing today. I say I'm only going to explain some of them because they're new to me and I might not be doing a very good job of understanding it. So I can't do a very good job of explaining it, but I can tell you what I know. I can tell you what I understand. And of course, feel free to comment down below if I'm wrong. Because this is new, I might not fully grasp something that you do. But today, we're going to work on Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi. What does that mean? It means penetrating reverse punch stance. So in the style that I'm practicing now, Wadokai, the basic curricula includes reverse punching, which for the layperson means if your right foot's in front, your left hand punches, or if your left foot's in front, your right hand punches. Reverse meaning the reverse of whichever foot or side you have in front. So this is true across many different styles. I don't know if it's true across all styles, but it's true across many styles that this is called a reverse punch. It is basically like a boxer's cross or overhand right. It comes off the back arm. In this case, the back is going to be whichever side. My left foot's in front. Even if I'm square, it's the opposite side of the foot in front. The additional technique is called no Tsukomi. I don't know if my Japanese is very good, but that is supposed to mean penetrating. So instead of just a reverse punch that hits and pulls back, which is a traditional way to throw it in the martial arts, where the punch is thrown and then pulled back. Weight is shifted, contact is made, penetration is only 2 or 3 centimeters, and then it's retracted quickly. A no Tsukomi technique has the drive of the hips and shoulders and pushing through, but there's a way that Wadokai teaches pushing through and penetrating that is different than any other style that I've ever seen. That doesn't mean it a lot. Maybe I haven't seen every other style. Maybe it is in your style, but I just haven't seen it. But I haven't seen it before, and it looks a bit awkward, and it's a bit new, and it's very difficult and very interesting. So this is me today trying to explain to you and demonstrate Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi. My focus in Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi is to stay on the center line with the middle of my body and then shift slightly side by side so that my thigh and inside of my knee stays on that center line from step to step. As I punch and turn and shift, it will go from left inside knee to right inside knee and back and forth. I want to make sure that I don't move outside of that line too far. I don't want to move my feet on the inside of that line, and I'm always going to punch on that line and try to keep my head similarly situated. So, from here, this is Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi. This is Gyakutsuki dachi. Now Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi, working slowly. That is probably too far a step. So I'm going to lean, keep here. In this stance, I'm supposed to lean over. Smoothly and slowly, it works just like this. Knees together, feet apart, and then back over. What I'm going to work on today basic movement now, is trying to not pull my knee all the way to the side of the center line. Keep it just in there. Whoop, too far with my foot. And from there, I think you cannot see anymore. So from here, and that ends the basic exercise or kihon called Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi in Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi, or stepping, I guess it's called. I guess that would be called Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi ashi, which means stepping. But maybe if you get the general idea, just from watching that, you can help me understand it better. But what I'm trying to do is use the outsides of my feet to point straight ahead. So for me, that means it's going to look what they would call sometimes pigeon-toed, with your knees bent in this way. For me, it means that I'm going to have to lean by driving this direction. The stance has my back toe lined up with my front heel. You can see from the side maybe, something like this. And I'm shifting my weight here and leaning forward and throwing my hip back to do that. This is a very, very difficult adjustment to make while still keeping your balance. It's an especially difficult adjustment to make to keep your balance while you rotate and drive your hips forward. So I've been challenged with this for quite some time, so it's nice to get extra practice and maybe some extra feedback on how this works. So, that was the slow version. Let's see. Okay, are we there yet? Are we stretched out? Are we warmed up? That'll work. Here we go. We're going to start off shoulder width apart. Here we go. All right. Gyakutsuki, Ippon kote, here. I'm giving the commands in Japanese because it's what my sensei says, and I want to make it sound like that so I can remind myself what it does sound like when somebody calls it. Oh, I didn't call it. Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The turn, little lock, reverse punch, reach, knee, zan, shi, go, rock, 6, 8, 9, 10. Turn, little block, punch. Now notice I moved away from the line, so that is an issue there. 10 up, 10 back, there's 20 down. We're going to get to at least 100 today. Let's see, maybe some more. All right. I think what I need to work on, as well as my back flexibility here, stretching, there we go, is keeping everything still and tight in my lower body until my foot lands and then twisting. So at one point, that I have to remember is to keep my head down and even while my heel is up. It means my hip and knee have to bend, and as I shift, they have to bend a little more. Like this motion, reaching with the toes, forward here. Okay, I'll have to think about that. I'll keep that in mind. Here we go. Junzuki. Hiroi Junzuki. 1、いい方向で。Junzuki no Tsukomi. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。About trying new styles isn't that you're good at it, but that you're not good at it. So it's nice to be comfortable with what you know, but it's nicer to learn things you don't and to gain new skills. Unfortunately, that means that you're going to have to do something you're not used to. You're going to have to suck. You're going to have to be bad. You're going to have to be terrible at it so that you can get help, so you can grasp the idea, so you can try and fail and learn every way not to do it, so you can learn the way to do it, because that's what that process was that got you a black belt in the first place. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to put yourself aside and say, listen, I know I'm a black belt over here, but I'm not a black belt over here, and I want to see what they have to teach. So in order to do that, I have to take the same journey I took over here and apply the ideas and principles of persistence and being a student over here. So that being said, I don't know how bad of a failure my Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi Dachi was, but we're going to move on to the next step. The next level of Kihon in Wadokai is the same technique with a kick added into it, a front kick. So as I'm moving forward, punching, I'm kicking in the middle of my step, which is pretty simple and very familiar for anyone who has done anything like step and punch with the same hand as the foot that's in front. Even if you're in a long, wide Taekwondo stance, it's very simple. The idea is easy. Here we go. Bam. Kick. Punch. Kick. Punch. No problem, right? So, to make it more difficult, we're going to try to keep the head level even in this technique, in this Kihon, in this basic exercise, this basic Taekwondo exercise. So let's see. Step left. I'm going to try to keep my head level even so my knee has to stay in the same spot. Not the easiest thing in the world. Oh, now it becomes a little more challenging. Okay, well, Wadokai does this too. It creates another level of challenge by adding a kick. But it also demands that your head height stays the same. your head height stays the same. So you can't duck down, you can't turtle your neck, you can't bend over, you can't lean over, or anything like that. It has to stay exactly the same. But an added issue is the lean in Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi that we talked about earlier. So if I'm going 45 degrees here, here's my reverse punch. When I punch, I have to lean, right? But when I kick, if I kick and lean, it doesn't make a real good kick. It can't make a real good kick. It can't make a strong kick from here. Now, it might be enough if a gang of determined but inexperienced 5-year-olds gang up to beat you up and take your ice cream. Well, I mean, it can happen. Maybe you'll take a couple of them out, kicking like this. Yeah, sitting home crying at mama. But if anything more than that, you're going to need to have a more solid kick, a more solid foundation to kick from. And Wadokai agrees. So, from this Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi, pigeon toe, 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, just barely, front knee bent, back leg straight, body bent over, hips thrown back, in what looks like extremely unbalanced. They say you need to pull your hips together and kick. Now when I'm saying pull my hips together, I mean not spread out my hips. Not so much my feet as my body has to reset forward and my hips have to stay down. So when I kick, it has to be fully committed because it's going to be a step. I have to step to catch up so that my balance stays in a place where I can control it and finish with a punch. So, what I am going to attempt to do is move from Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi to Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi with the punches, but I have to kick in between with my hips forward. So from here, now notice my head came up. So there we go, I have a new challenge. Keep the back straight, keep the hips under, don't let the head come up, throw a good straight kick, land back in Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi. You can judge for yourself how the efforts go. Let's try. Gyakutsuki, Imotote, Kete, Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi dachi. 2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。This, Imotote, Kete, Gyakutsuki no Tsukomi. maybe not the best performance of my life, but every time I practice this, I learn a little something extra about myself or about the technique. Either what I can do or what I can do to meet the requirements. So remember, no matter what you're doing, especially if you're not good at it, keep trying. The old adage is, a fool who persists in his folly becomes wise. And if fools can become wise, any of us can do anything. Thanks a lot. Remember to leave a comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Not because I get money from it, I won't, but it does help the channel get out more. It does help people see this. Sometimes I can be an inspiration for what I do. Sometimes I can be an inspiration because of what people don't want to do. That's okay too. Whatever helps people get down the road. Thanks a lot.